The passenger told me not to look at him directly, only through the mirror. I thought he was paranoid. Then at a red light, I turned around, and what I saw in that back seat wasn't human. My name is Marcus. I've been driving for Uber for 2 years now, mostly night shifts, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., 5 nights a week. The pay is better at night, and honestly, I prefer the quiet. Most passengers are tired or drunk, don't talk much. My routes are usually simple. Downtown to suburbs, airport runs, occasionally someone heading to a diner. Empty streets, long stretches of highway with no streetlights. That changed 5 weeks ago. It was a Tuesday, around 2:30 in the morning. I just dropped someone off when I got a ping. Pick up at a corner near the old industrial district. When I pulled up, a man was standing under a streetlight, mid-40s, dark suit, neat hair, carrying a small briefcase. He looked normal, professional. He opened the back door and got in without a word. I glanced at him through the rearview mirror. "Hey, how's it going? Heading to Riverside Drive?" He settled into the seat, speaking in a calm, measured tone. "Yes, and I need to ask you something before we start driving." I adjusted the mirror. "Sure, what's up?" He looked directly at the mirror, meeting my eyes through the reflection. "Don't turn around to look at me. Only look through the rearview mirror. Don't ask why, just drive." I hesitated. "That's a weird request," he replied evenly. "I know, but I'm paying for the ride, and I'm asking you to respect this. Please." I'd had stranger passengers before. I shrugged. "All right, your ride, your rules," he added. "One more thing. If you accidentally see me directly through a window reflection, or if you turn around, don't stop the car. Keep driving no matter what. And when we arrive, wait 10 seconds after I exit before you look back." I nodded uneasily. "Got it." The drive started normally. I watched him through the rearview mirror as I pulled onto the main road. He sat quietly, hands folded on his lap, looking out the window. Nothing unusual. Just a guy in a suit. We drove in silence for about 20 minutes. When I dropped him off, he got out without looking back. I counted to 10 like he asked, then glanced in the rearview. The back seat was empty. He was already walking away down the sidewalk. Strange ride, but harmless enough. 2 weeks later, I got another ping. Same pickup location, same drop-off. I pulled up and saw the same man standing under the same streetlight. He got in, and before I could say anything, he spoke. "Same rules as last time. Don't turn around, only the mirror." I recognized his voice immediately. "You're the guy from 2 weeks ago." He nodded once. "Yes. Thank you for accepting the ride again." This time, I paid more attention. I watched him carefully through the rearview mirror as I drove, and that's when I started noticing things. He blinked, but his reflection in the mirror blinked half a second late. Like there was a delay between the action and the reflection. Like video buffering, but in real life. A streetlight swept across the car as we turned. His shadow stretched across the back seat, but it stretched to the left while he sat perfectly straight. The shadow moved independently, contracting and stretching like it wasn't attached to him. My hands tightened on the wheel. We stopped at a red light. I glanced at the side window, not at him directly, but at his reflection in the glass. My stomach dropped. In the rearview mirror, he looked normal. Man in a suit, sitting calmly. But in the side window reflection, his eyes were empty. Not closed. Empty. Black voids where eyes should be. And his arms too long, stretched at wrong angles, draped over the seat with too many joints. I gasped and snapped my head forward, gripping the wheel. From the back seat, his voice came tinged with disappointment. "You saw something, didn't you? Through the glass. That's why I said mirrors only. Other reflections aren't as controlled. My voice shook. "What are you?" He was quiet for a moment. "Not human. Not anymore. Haven't been for a long time." The light turned green. I drove, hands trembling. He continued, almost conversationally. "Mirrors show what I want you to see. A safe version. Something your mind can process. But other surfaces show more truth. And if you look at me directly, without glass between us, you see what I really am. And that changes people." I swallowed hard. "Changes how?" He said simply. "Last driver who looked clawed his own eyes out 3 days later. Said he couldn't stop seeing me, even when I wasn't there. Even when he closed his eyes. I was burned into his vision. Permanent. Ice ran through my veins." He added almost kindly, "I'm warning you now. Don't look. Don't ever look directly at me." When I dropped him off that night, I sat in my car for 10 minutes afterward, just breathing. I should have stopped accepting his rides. Should have blocked that pickup location. But I didn't. Third ride came a week later. Same passenger, same route. By now, I knew something was deeply wrong. But the fares were good, and I told myself I was imagining things. We were on a long stretch of empty highway. Single red light at an intersection with nothing around. No buildings, no other cars. Just darkness. The light turned red. I stopped. And in that moment, sitting there in complete silence, my curiosity won. I had to know. Had to see. I glanced at the rear view. He looked like he was sleeping, head tilted back. Maybe he wouldn't notice. Just 1 second. I turned my head, looked directly at the back seat. The suit was there, but it was empty. No, not empty. Filled with something that moved wrong. Like watching a person through broken glass. Multiple versions of him overlapping. One sitting, one standing. One twisted at impossible angles. All occupying the same space. And all of them staring at me with eyes that were doorways leading somewhere vast and dark. I screamed, jerked the wheel without thinking. The car swerved hard, tires screeching. His voice came, loud and distorted, no longer calm. "I told you not to look." Everything went sideways. Metal crunching, glass shattering, my head slammed against something hard. Then black. I woke up 3 days later in a hospital bed. A police officer was waiting. "Mr. Reeves, can you tell me what happened?" I tried to sit up. "The passenger, is he okay?" The officer looked confused. "What? Passenger? You were alone in the car. Dashcam footage shows you alone. No one else." My blood went cold. "No. There was someone in the back seat," the officer said carefully. "Sir, you hit a utility pole at 2:47 in the morning. No passengers. We think you fell asleep at the wheel. They kept me for observation, ran tests, eventually declared me physically fine but recommended therapy. They discharged me. For the first week, I avoided mirrors. Covered the bathroom mirror with a towel. Kept my phone face down. But you can't avoid reflections forever. One night, I needed to shave. I pulled the towel off the bathroom mirror. Looked at my reflection. I smiled. My reflection smiled back, but it smiled half a second late. I froze, and then I saw him. Behind my reflection. Not in the real bathroom, only in the mirror. Standing there in that dark suit, watching me. He raised one hand, waved slowly. I spun around. The real bathroom was empty. I looked back at the mirror. He was still there, standing behind the reflected version of me. He mouthed words. "You saw me. Now I live here." I staggered backward. Since then, he's been everywhere. Every mirror, every window, every reflective surface. sometimes in the background, sometimes right behind me, sometimes just a shadow with wrong proportions. I quit Uber, got a day job, covered every mirror in my apartment, but I can't avoid the world. Last week, I passed a storefront with huge glass windows, caught my reflection by accident. He was sitting in the reflection in a chair that didn't exist in the real store, legs crossed, smiling. I looked at the actual store empty, just mannequins. Looked back at the reflection. He was waving. I ran, but it doesn't matter. Yesterday, I was walking past a taxi at a red light. The driver looked normal, just another guy doing his job. I glanced at the taxi's window. In the reflection, I saw the back seat. That passenger was there, dark suit, hands folded. The driver couldn't see him, just sat there, waiting for the light to change. I wanted to warn him, bang on the window, scream at him to look in his mirror, but I remembered what happened to me, and I realized something. The passenger wasn't just in my reflections anymore. I watched the taxi drive away, watched it disappear down the street. How many drivers has he ridden with? How many of them looked? How many of them see him now, every time they pass a mirror? This morning, I saw 3 more. Different taxis, different ride shares, different drivers. And in every reflection, every window, every mirror, he was there in the back seat, watching them, waiting. He told me once that he needs drivers, living people to navigate his world. I didn't understand then, but I do now. He's not trapped anymore. He's spreading, one driver at a time, one reflection at a time. And there's nothing I can do to stop it. Because you can't warn someone about what they'll see in a mirror. You can only watch and wait and hope they follow the rules. But they never do. Curiosity always wins, just like it did with me.